So doctor said, let's say I am a 30-year-old techie. I work on like 5 days a week, and I take rest on weekends. I catch up on my sleep on weekends. What sort of advice do you have for me? I'm not in good shape, and sleep will do me a world of good. So what sort of measures do you advise me on how to achieve a better sort of health for myself?
One thing I would definitely talk to you about is the relationship between sleep and your body's capacity to deal with work pressure. Because I feel a lot of people misunderstand and say that sleep is what happens when you are done with work. And if work is not done, then I can let go of sleep.
That's so wrong.
That is very wrong. So the way that your body deals with any sort of work pressure, your body needs to be regulated. Specifically, the autonomic nervous system in your body needs to be regulated. That is how your body is able to navigate sudden new stresses. So if your boss calls you and says, oh, you have a PPT to make tomorrow morning, how your body deals with it will depend on whether you have slept properly or not.
Yes.
So I would first take out 10-15 minutes to talk to you and let you know that if you want to grow professionally, if you want to get ahead in your career, focusing on sleep is an important part of that.
Sleep is an investment, not an expenditure. That's what you'll tell.
Yes.
Very well put.
Very well put. Absolutely. One very important thing that I wanted to highlight was how people often don't think about this, but in sleep, your breathing rate falls down significantly.
Right.
So if you're awake, you might be breathing 16, 18, 20 times a minute sometimes. But when you're asleep, it can go down to even 10 or 8 breaths a minute, even 6 breaths a minute if you're breathing very slowly, especially in deep stages of sleep. There have now been enough studies showing how prolonged deep breathing calms your nervous system down.
Absolutely.
So there is a term called resonance frequency breathing, which is when you breathe at the same frequency as the blood pressure variation in your body.
Okay.
So in your body, blood pressure changes. That is, blood pressure goes up and down approximately 5 to 6 times.
Okay.
If you are able to match your breathing to your blood pressure variation, there is a resonance.
Wow.
And your body's autonomic nervous system calms down much faster. Heart rate variability increases. Heart rate variability is the new in thing. All the health freaks know about heart rate variability. Athletes know about heart rate variability. I hope that now everybody will know about heart rate variability. So the way to increase heart rate variability is through resonance frequency breathing. Sleep is the number one predictor of heart rate variability.
Yes.
So the better your sleep, the better your heart rate variability. The better your heart rate variability, less chances of anxiety, less chances of brain fog, less chances of confusion, all these things. So as a techie, is somebody who I'm assuming would be keen on tracking your body, checking how much omega-3 fatty acid supplements should you take. If you're doing all of that, checking heart rate variability and getting good sleep would be number one.
So without sleep, none of these supplements really
None of it
matter. So Dr. Rahul, what is sleep hygiene? What do you tell to your tech patients, your urban crowd, on how to deal with sleep pressures and daily pressures?
So the easy guy to manage is a guy with a day job. We'll talk about shift work guys a little later, because that's a different level of challenge in managing them. The easy guy is a day job, and I would say it's simple things. Come to breathing, we know about pranayama. I mean, there was somebody smart enough 2000 years ago to figure that out.
Absolutely.
Without any fancy gadgetry at that time, without any modern tools at that time, that we need to have controlled breathing, we need to have good breathing, and I strongly feel pranayam should be part of most of our daily routines, more so in the preventive manner, and preventing a lot of stress related issues. I feel personally It helps in preventing a lot of sleep related breathing problems also. So that's one part of it. Second is getting a routine in place. I would prefer someone have an typically now what I've seen is what happens is we know this. We know this, we need to eat on time, we need to sleep on time, but we get away with breaking these rules till we are in college. I would say if we are lucky, early 30s. 35 and beyond is when I feel that we get started penalized for not getting that night sleep, doing that late night with our friends, doing that late night at job, emergencies or whatever, is when people come back to us with the symptoms. But if you have the right practice to begin with, next is, I would say, stimulants. Coffee is big. Coffee is becoming big in urban India, and I'm sure and even tea for that matter has a significant component of caffeine in it. So chai is our national drink, so to say.
Yeah.
So timing that stimulant well. Earlier we used to think that we were able to wash out these stimulants out of our systems within 4-5 hours. Then we thought that 8 hours is good enough. And now if you are someone with a very sensitive sleep, somebody who's has a very light sleeper, studies have shown that you should take your last drink 12 hours before your intended bedtime. So you have to time that well, especially so if you're someone who's sensitive. We talked about screen time half an hour back and having a space. The other challenge that is there is the urban guy who's doing work from home.
Yeah.
Because in a city like Bombay, I don't think people have 5 BHKs commonly where they have one room dedicated as a workspace. They end up doubling their bedroom as their workstation, which again is a state of mind. It's a place where I'm keeping my mind active, alert, constantly thinking, and then suddenly you want me to switch off and lie down in the same space. So bedroom, ideally bedroom is a space which should be a safe space. We should not be a workspace. You may choose to work in your hall. You may choose to work in another bedroom if you're lucky enough to have that. But try to keep your bedroom space sacred, especially if you're struggling to sleep at night. So those are the basic tips. I mean, I would say to simplify, keep a simple routine. Stay away from stimulants. If you're someone who's not getting good sleep, time your stimulants well, and also to create a safe space where you are keeping work away.
What I have realized through my years of medical practice is that regularity is perhaps the most important.
True.
Yeah.
If you start sleeping on the same time and start waking up on the same time, day in and day out, ultimately you find your rhythm.
Yes.
And definitely your sleep hygiene measures like slowing it down half an hour prior to bedtime, they all come into play. But I think regularity is so important these days. And you cannot be expecting your body to recover after maybe 5 days of irregular sleep and catching up on the weekends. There's no such thing like catch up